Hello once again and welcome to another Beer Reviews. It is the bank holiday weekend here in England and hence the weather has been absolutely fantastic and amazing. I've just come back from Whitby and I was just looking around the internet seeing if there's any kind of breweries around there. I managed to find Whitby's Black Dog Brewery. It used to be around a few years ago and then it kind of went out of business and now just been bought up and just restarted producing some beers. So this is a Ratas, a special bitter. It's got a wonderful little picture of a doggy there, of a wolf howling at the moon, and a picture of a bat as well, because if you don't know about Whitby, Whitby is the home of Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. It says on the back, the logo and the name for the Black Dog Brewery were inspired by Bram Stoker, who, having spent time in Whitby on holiday, went on to write the most famous horror novel of all time, Dracula. The location in the book are based in and around Whitby, and the Black Dog Brewery is situated in a workhouse on the East Cliff near the Abbey that was made famous for the 199 steps, which I might add are, even for a guy like me who does a lot of running, quite exhausting to walk all the way to the top of. If you ever get a chance to go to Whitby, go. Oh, there's actually a little picture on the side as well there. You kind of walk 199 steps down from the bay. So really pretty places, Whitby. So, this is a beer from Recoil. Got to get me bottle opener ready. Special bitter, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect with that. You know, bitters just tend to be pale and hoppy. Oh well, useless to get the head off as well. We'll pour it out in a glass and see what we get. Now I've heard nothing from the Black Dog Brewery. It's only just literally relatively brand new brewery. So I don't know as yet the quality of the ales. Although I do believe at the moment they're contract brewing with Hamilton Ales out in the North York Moors. Hamilton Ales will produce beer for you, or kind of contract brewery beer for you, so I think this is yet to be made in their own little hometown brewery yet. So, colour, it's lovely and clear. I mean, it's absolutely crystal clear. You can watch TV through that. There's a nice level of sparkling carbonation going through. It's really fast rising bubbles, so it's quite well carbonated. Small head, I give it quite rigorous pour, but that's fine. The head's sticking around as well. There's a good bit of retention on that, and it is lacing quite well on the side of the glasses. Aroma-wise, it's actually got a really nice aroma, really typical bitter aroma, best bitter aroma. This fantastic biscuity malt flavour coming through it. And a delicious kind of sweetness, a nice hoppy, fruity, fresh note as well. I mean, it smells really pleasant. It smells just exactly like what you want it to be, which is a 4.6 best bitter. In fact, I didn't mention the colour, did I? But can you see it's a lovely amber, deep amber colour. And it's totally see-through, as I said. It's not coming out in the camera very well, but I'm holding up against the window here and it's absolutely clear as day. So aromas, it's a lovely sweet biscuity aroma, like I said, and there's a nice little level of sweetness going on as well. Nice hoppy, like floral and spicy floral notes going on. Just, it smells like a really good bitter, to be honest. So without further ado, let's get on in there. Yeah, no, that's the top class bit. That's the top class bit of that. It's got a very typical chunky biscuity malt flavour. You'll hear it said a lot about British ales. They have this kind of chunky texture to them. Some people kind of attribute it to diacetyl, so this compound that makes beer a bit more buttery. And it kind of works in English ales, but there's this like chewy malt flavour. It feels like you could almost bite into it, like you're almost chomping your way through the barley in the beer, and this one's a clear example of it. It's lovely caramelly and biscuity flavours, and there's delightful, very pleasant and light bitterness going through it as well. There's quite a bit of the hop character coming through too, I think. There's a nice light spicy note bringing it all the way through from the first bit of the mouthful. Sorry, the first time you put it in your mouth. And it's really quite pleasant. That it counterbalances the malt very well. It's biscuity chewy malt, nice level of spiciness. In terms of mouthfeel, it feels very nice and light. The carbonation is not too present, so it feels very drinkable. In fact, I'd almost say a little bit flat. If it wasn't for perhaps the bitterness on the tongue, I'd say it almost tasted a little bit flat. In fact, I'm not sure if you can see in the glass now, but there's no carbonation left anymore. There's not much. There really isn't any bubbling going on. That's perhaps the only criticism I'd have of this beer, though. Maybe it's just a tiny, titchy little bit flat for me. But I really enjoy this. There's nothing like getting a nice bitter, especially on a nice warm day. It's something the woman's cockles you saw, and it's lovely, and it's very sessionable, it's very Moorish, it's very light and easy in the stomach, but very tasty at the same time. I think this is a really nice example of a good classic English best bitter, and I really recommend you go out and try it. There's plenty of bitters around, but if you ever see this one on your tap, especially because it comes from the great old Whitby, or we see a bottle in the shop anywhere, but keep your eyes open for Black Dog, Whitby's Black Dog Brewery. I'm sure they'll be trying to make a scene. There's no breweries, well, there's Croxton Brewery up in North Hilton Moors, but Whitby's such a historic and famous town, I'm sure they'll pick it up and run with it. So yeah, in terms of rating, I've definitely tried, sounds ironic, but I've tried better bitters than this best bitter. But this is a very fine example of one, and you should definitely try it. So I'm going to give this one, I think I'm going to give it a nice rounded 7 out of 10. Just because it lacks a little bit of carbonation, and because I've tried some better bitters out there. It's still lovely though, so like, favourite, comment, subscribe the video. Let me know what you think if you ever find yourself in Whitby and you find some of this beer. And I'll see you all again in the next Bear Beer Reviews. Cheers.